Lords of Summer didn't belong with the new songs as much as we thought, you know? So, hey, we need another song. And at that point, I was pretty done. Like, I don't think, I don't think I'm interested in going back. I don't feel interested in going back out there and starting writing a new song after we're in there pretty much done with everything. But I'm glad we did, obviously. Went out there. I mean, the song was, when we were putting it together, the first number was a 2, which was pretty remarkable. I mean, we're talking Ramones or Misfits length. And then it kept getting...
2 minutes?
Yeah, yep.
It was really a 2-minute song
yeah,
at that point?
Yeah, And then, things got a little longer. And, hey, that vocal thing's good. Put that in there. And, it's under 4 minutes, which is great no matter what. But I'm glad we went in there and did it. And, that the subject matter, I mean, it's so punk. It's so simple. Whatever you think of lyric writing, it is not Shakespeare. I know that. But it's a summation of kind of the whole album. So it gave us a little bit of a direction on where to go with the title of the record and everything. So, at the end, hey, what do we write about here? Let's just kind of sum up all the parts of the record. And, gosh, are humans really doing the right thing, And in the history of time, we're a little blip. And are we going to be gone? Are we phasing ourselves out with electronics? Are we becoming this? Are we, and are we going to self-destruct because of just our egos and all of the stuff that makes humans humans, Is it better to be more machine, should we be robots? Is that better? And, you get into science fiction, you get into, all kinds of stuff. But, when man started, what was the idea? So that the whole sentence of, hardwired to self-destruct came from a friend of mine that, he was kind of throwing out there as a struggling addict, is that what it is? Is that what it's like for us? Are we just, our default is die. Earlier than we're supposed to, destroy, wreck, destroy our lives. Are we hardwired to self-destruct? And that just kind of, that caught my ear. The mythology around Atlas and, him being, I guess, forced to carry the weight of the world because of what had happened before. And so that was his legacy, that was his duty. And there are people that I believe live in that lifestyle, thinking that they're the martyr for the people who can't speak, or for the this, for the that, and taking responsibility a little too far, and then putting others down when they don't believe you or don't support you. How could you not support this? There, with martyrdom and guilt, kind of it's like a battle in a way. Someone thinking that they have more responsibility than they do. And it's like, man, lighten up. Just get rid of that shit, or give some of that to me. Stop using your woe as some martyrdom thing. So, yeah, at the end of the day, we're all the same. Having something to believe in. Maybe there's an afterlife. Maybe, it started out as wanting to be more of a modern day Romeo and Juliet, Don't Fear the Reaper, helping each other through life. And, now that we're dead, I mean, that could mean lots of things. Actually, you're dead. You're on to the next life. Or, you've gone through something horrible as a couple. Now we're on the other side of it. Now that we're dead, we can live forever. We've gone through that, So trusting in another person. And at the end of the day, your behaviors, whatever you've done, they're just behaviors. you can amend them, you can make up for them. And there's also an exploration feel of like, I don't know what's next. Come on, let's try it. Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah, Moth into Flame is pretty literal. And these days, everyone, I think it's an obsession with being famous, with being popular. Walking around the street, watching someone doing selfies of themselves, as they're walking down the street, like, what? What are you doing? How self-involved, absorbed are you? The main inspiration for that was the Amy Winehouse movie, where it was like she got brainwashed in a way. She started believing, there was the one scene that really, really disturbed me was when she was leaving her flat. She's just walking out to go do something, and the paparazzi are all over her. Hey, Amy, how you doing today? How's your friend? Blah blah. And yeah, we're your friend, but ooh, so disturbing. And how do you know? God, when you're in that bubble, how do you know what's real, what's not? You got people around you saying yes, 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 and she got lost. She got totally lost, and she started to believe that. She believed that myth that fame is the best thing there is. After the gig, you just did something great. You connected with all this, and then you run into the limousine past all the people, and you close the door, and then there's all your stuff that you need. Whatever, your drink and your thing and your friend, and it's like, wow. You go from insanity to a different insanity. The media, you're sitting, you can't look away, you're looking at the horror, you're looking at the horrible stuff going on, and you can't look away, and then you eventually just turn numb to it all,
Very cool.
But also, it was basically a follow-up to Call of Cthulhu for me. It was, Cthulhu Answers.
Sure.
He finally, in the mythos, he rises up, and if you even gaze at his reflection, you turn to stone. It's so hideous and horrible, Obviously, Halo on Fire, there's a juxtaposition in all of us, good, evil, and when does that come out? When does it show itself? Some people portray themselves as real saints when you're making up for all of this that you think is really bad. So, just coming to terms with that. And 50 Shades of Grey, I never saw it, but I saw some highlights of it where it was like, oh, this guy's a real, wow, he's well accomplished, and look at this guy. And then he's got this, basement of torture and horror, and all for his pleasure, and people falling for it and wanting it. And then at the end of the day, they both bleed, It's not good for anybody. PTSD in general, obviously, shell shock, and the military, and being put into, horrific scenes is one obvious sign of PTSD, and coming home from that, trying to come home and still living that, and having a fear, or seeing something that's affected you so greatly as a trauma inside you that it's carried home. And the movie American Sniper, a great portrayal of that, and actually using that as a, he's hooked on the drama, hooked on the, I got to save my brothers. If I don't go, if I don't go back, they're going to die. Using, again, that kind of a martyr as an excuse for the addiction of the drama of the war, and neglecting his family at home. PTSD is everywhere, man. And things that happen to you as a childhood, or in your childhood, or like we were talking about, sports figures. Anyone who wears a uniform, who's gone out there and portrayed a life of service, giving or using force, power, go out there and kill, go out there and get them, football players. And then when their life's done from that, you're being rewarded, and you don't have to take care of your life either. It's all planned out for you. Here's your day. And, there's lots of different forms of PTSD, trying to reset, trying to get back to zero. Why, let's get back to the goodness of man. Let's not keep thinking that, man is sinful and has to crawl and try to make up. It's like we're always down below in a higher power's eyes. We have to prove ourselves over and over daily that we're not evil. Having faith, in this world of everyone's out for themselves or whatever, whatever you think the world is for you, in a negative way, finding, and that's obviously what I'm really good at. At the end of the day, having faith in man, and just, man unkind. It was kind of a funny thing at first, and then, hey, it's kind of cool, instead of it's just blaming it on mankind. But yeah, there are some unkind people out there, but having faith that we get through that, or they learn about it, or somehow they become more part of the solution instead of the problem. Families that have someone taken from them. I mean, there's a friend of mine whose son died, and and I won't name names because there's a couple that has followed us on tour for a long time that has been very instrumental in that song and inspirational to me. Their daughter was killed by a drunk driver, and she loved Metallica. And the way this family is staying connected with her is coming to the Metallica shows and enjoying what she enjoyed and maybe connecting that way. I find that pretty amazing, and very strong. When you could, it's such a vulnerable thing to have happen to you. I mean, you destroy your life and just sit there and think about it all the time and ruminate on it over and over. What could I have done to change things? What if? And how could you not be pissed? How could you not be angry at the person who took your child's life? That is real strength to me, because I'm just writing in my perspective of what I would do. I would pray for revenge to happen, and think that's the answer, when at the end of the day, I know it's not. You ask forgiveness, but I give you sweet revenge, because payback time. There's a line in there about inheritance. Okay. And then that was a strong word for me on this album. I was thinking that could be the title of the record, inheritance. Good or bad, you've inherited something. Whether it's in your genes, in your blood, in your bank account, in your looks, whatever. You inherit things. And the whole anger behind a good intention. Like, my good intention here is to teach you something. And then when you don't want it, I get angry, and it's more about me and where did that come from? So from my dad using anger as a big tool in the house to be heard, same with me. So that was my inheritance, and I started to pass it down to my boy and stopped. Yeah, Father, is it you? I mean, there's a scratching at the door, pounding, come out of your room, being angry, changing from loving dad into some beast.
Hear your thunder, still feeding back. Still hear your thunder. The man in black, born to lose, living to win. Murder one could only be about Lemmy. That's,
you bet.
I edited the last bit. So
yeah, Murder One. Not many people know what Murder One is. And I'm just trying to dig deep and just go around corners and talk about him without being extremely direct. But yeah, Murder One was obviously his rig. I mean, that was the name of his favorite amp. And I know he had more than one, but that's one that stood out to me. And yeah, just paying respects to Lemmy, because without him, I don't think Metallica would be around at all, and probably a lot of other bands. But he was an inspiration. He was an unwavering strength, but not unapproachable. Very down to earth, very real, had great philosophies on life. He was a lovable character, even though he looked completely menacing. He was lovable, and he'll be greatly missed. So I thought, why not bring him in and celebrate him and his life in one of our songs?
Yeah.
That's what it means to me. Yeah. The wonder and fear of, again, what's happening to man. Just the possibilities of, Terminator, stuff like that, We're wearing smartwatches, we're wearing this. Things are getting closer and closer to just being in us. At some point, it will be, Why would I not have the internet in my head all the time? Why would I not? All of that. And, why do I have to worry with all these emotions and stuff? Falling in love and getting your heart broken, that doesn't do anybody good. The heart and blood, it's in the way. It's in the way of efficiency, We could be we could be a much more efficient race if we just allow computers to help us. And yeah, they are helping us. And how far does that go? And all of that craziness. So spit out the bone. As bones aren't needed. They just break,